Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to make your first million? And today we have a special guest from United States. So please, Angela, introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Angela Fields, the creator and founder of CurlyCoilyTresses, the natural hair care brand, and also the creator and founder of Ageless Tresses. So navigating your hair health through menopause and beyond.
Okay, Angela, but how do you decide to become an entrepreneur?
Wow. I was in corporate America for 26 years and I
Wow.
was, yes, and in the utility industry, no less. And after being laid off from my last employer, so it was 19 years with one company and then another 6.5, 7 years with the second company.
Wow.
And after being laid off, I was just taking some time to figure out what was going to be next for me. And took about 3-4 weeks after doing a long drive, and it hit me that what I was going to do was already in my kitchen. And so,
Wow. So in 4 weeks, after
yes,
four weeks, you decide that it's not good idea anymore for look for more jobs and you want to do something really risky, which is business.
that's right.
Are you sure you think this through properly?
Probably did not, because if you think about all the things you've got to do, oh no, I am not doing that. I'm going to find another job and keep going, because it certainly is not the Suze Orman approved way of launching a business. It is certainly not.
It's a roller coaster, yeah. The first thing is your environment, yeah. So what happened? Your family, your friends, what they said? Did they support you, or they thought that you went crazy?
Well, there were some that thought, you're going to do what? Okay, yeah, you're going to do that and you're probably going to go back to work. And then there were others that knew my story and knew I had been having great difficulty finding amazing hair care products. And so they were like, okay, this will be great. Because when I was developing the products, I was still working in corporate America. I was trying to solve my own problem. And so I have many allergies, and there had been a long history of having lost my hair to chemicals back when I was a teen. Twice I lost my hair to chemicals, and I decided after that second time that I wanted to know how to take care of my hair so I didn't just surrender it to someone else. So if they weren't doing what they needed to be doing, I could tell them. So I started on this educational about all things hair as a teen. And we didn't have the internet back then, so it was much harder to find the information.
To read books and so on, right? Your hair
That's
look
right.
great, by the way.
Oh,
Congratulations. Yeah.
thank you, thank you. And so, and that's also involved a lot of time in the library doing just research of anything that I
Yeah.
could find. And so as I was transitioning, I had been using chemicals on my hair to straighten it. And I had decided I wanted to do something different to go back to my natural texture. And my natural texture was a lot drier than what it was as relaxed. And so it became a journey trying to find products that I could use. See, one of my key allergies is to fragrance. And 96 to 98% of all USA hair care is fragranced. I tapped into what I could find, and it didn't do anything for my hair. I started shopping in Canada, in Europe, and bringing products in, and I found much better options, but I wasn't completely satisfied. But I already knew what ingredients I needed in my hair products and what I needed to avoid. So I just started buying raw ingredients and started making formulas right in my own kitchen.
Wow.
And after going through several iterations of this, I hit upon what worked and what worked very well for me. So I did this for a year, just making products for me in my kitchen. So I already had some friends and relatives telling me, you need to launch your brand. And I'm like, I've got a job. I don't have time to be selling hair products. I'm solving my problem. And then after I was laid off, it wasn't immediate, but about 4 weeks, it was like, okay, I think I know what I'm going to be doing next. And And that's how it started. So it certainly wasn't the Suze Orman approved way. It certainly wasn't, oh, I have this master plan. I'm gonna save up this many months of salary and then do that. None of those things took place. None of those things took place. Just stepped out on faith. I felt that fear and I did it anyway.
So our projection for these programs, we are projecting to interview 5,000 multimillionaires, and so far, all the people that we have interviewed, right? A grand part of it started the business first to trying to solve the problem for themselves, right? And it's a beautiful way to become an entrepreneur, right? I always said that most of us become an entrepreneur by accident, right? We're trying to solve a problem for ourselves. We try to save some money. We have a problem and we don't find a solution. So we have to find our own solution. And then the natural journey is to start to offer that solution to others, right? So,
Right.
but you did take control of the problem. You say, okay, if there is no solution out there, yeah, I'm gonna take responsibility about my hair care, and I'm going to go to the library because the internet was not there, and I'm going to start to read, and should be a solution out there that fit me. So when you and by the way, this is also very natural way of doing what we recommend to everyone. Yeah, don't start your business, start to develop at least your product or something when you have the job, right? Because it's gonna take a lot of trial and error, and still you need to pay your bills. So this is how I started my first business. I was working, and then in parallel I started my first business, and then when the business took off, then I quit my job, right? So um in this process, right, that you were trying in your kitchen your own products and try them on yourself, right? You were
Mhm.
not worried that if something goes wrong, it might affect your hair?
No, I was not because I had done the
How
research.
come? Where do you get that confidence?
I had done the research on the ingredients. I mean,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
So I knew everything there was to know about the ingredients. And then when you start combining ingredients, that could alter the outcome, most assuredly. So I had done the research on that as well.
In the combination of the ingredients, right?
Yes, absolutely. And see and understand many of the ingredients in my formulations are food grade. So the oils, the butter, it could have been something that was like, let's say olive oil is one of the ingredients in my products.
Yeah, no way that this can harm you. Yeah,
All right, coconut
it's
oil, another one.
natural. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think our body is gonna be very difficult to react to natural products, right? We are human beings. We meant to be in nature anyway, right?
Mhm.
So it's all about the chemical composition that might provide the allergies. Yes. Now let's talk about the hair market because it's huge, and this is something that that people especially curly hair, right? There are you can see thousands of products out there for, let's call it, white people, and to make your hair this, to make like this, but from people that have from the other type of hair, right? There are very little pros out there. Do you know why is the reason for that?
Well, when you're looking at who's at the table in these larger companies as far as
I
product
understand now.
development, does that mirror what's in society? Probably not. And
Mhm.
so it's that representation that we need for our own brands. And so Black women are one of the leading forces in creating businesses, launching businesses in the US, but as far as receiving traditional funding, it's less than 1%. And so
Mhm.
you're having to do it on your own dime. And so if we did
That's
more to
hard,
have,
right?
it
More
is,
difficult, yeah.
it is exceedingly difficult. And also
Oh.
surprising. If you haven't heard those numbers before, it's also exceptionally surprising.
Mhm.
Um, if the representation in the rooms making the decisions about the types of products to launch was there, then you would have more of a representation in those larger brands and companies, those $1 million brands, multi-million-dollar brands that are on the market. But if you step back now and look at, okay, I want to find brands founded by Black females, you're going to have to look in different places to find that information because it's not as readily represented or not receiving that traditional funding that would be needed to launch a brand. So you're having to do it on a much smaller scale, and just kind of step your way up as you're able to gain some traction in the industry and maybe receive some grants, or maybe your sales just kind of hit at that sweet spot where you can grow and then come back and invest some additional money in your brand.
And
So
I don't understand why, because this was taught to me. I interviewed a while ago, the around 6 months ago, I think, the Minister of Finance of Zimbabwe. And he told me, yeah, and obviously, majority there is black women, right? And he told me, right, that when it comes to finance, right, the women, they are better than men in terms of paying back the loans. Yeah, that's not my quote. It's literally the Minister of Finance Zimbabwe said that to me.
wow, okay.
Yeah, they say that he told me that the lending to women and lending to black women is an amazing business. It's amazing because they very reliable, more than men pay back the loans, and that's why in the government they put the program for women and men. But this is what they find out after give all the loans away. So he told me that that he preferred to lend to women, to right, to the black women. So the whole point is why, if I know for a fact that it makes financial sense, and also um, we have to see elements like the market size. Yeah, so how many black women are in US? A lot, right? It's a huge
Yes.
market, right? So if you have the statistic that you're gonna get, at least with women, yeah, we're not talking about men, but at least with women, that there is a highly really high rate statistically that you will get your money back, you will get your return, the women are more responsible, and you have the market size which is big, and you have the people with the problems that they're desperate for new products, right? Why is this friction in the funding, which actually makes really hard for company to take off and grow, especially if you have a good product?
Right? What you're saying makes complete and total sense, but if you're not seeing that representation on those companies that are
I
making
understand.
the decisions, yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. I think that like a year ago, yeah, we were and I talk a lot with venture capitalists and investors, yeah. And somebody told me something that stick to my mind. They told me, Harry, you won't believe there is a company out there that they are venture capitalists and they're all black people and they only invest in black businesses. I'm like, what? That's amazing. Who are these people? I would say, wow, what a brilliant idea. I was thinking, this is something really, really clever, you know, that a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of guys, put a few millions together and they decided to niche it. Yeah. I'm sure they're doing fantastic. That's a brilliant idea
It,
because it's a market that is on the self, right? And you specialize in this type of niche and you know the population, it could be very lucrative. I just don't understand what's going on. I think that maybe Angela, maybe is something that what you're sharing with us, that maybe in the politicians leading the towns, maybe in the elements that we have in the society, somehow the representation is not equally, and then is bias against certain things, and that actually diminish the consumer power, because at the end of the day we are all human beings, we have problems, and somebody develop products that solve our problem, we will buy them, right?
absolutely.
Now
I
let's
mean,
talk. Yeah, go ahead.
and I wanted to touch on one thing that you mentioned when you were talking about this group that is gathering money for Black female-owned brands. I'm not sure if you're talking about Fearless Fund or if you're talking about someone else, because
I
Fearless
don't
Fund,
remember. I think they were based here in UK.
oh, in the UK, okay. So in the U.S., Fearless Fund, led by Ariane Simone,
Uh,
I was in their first group, there, if you will, the first class of
wow.
Black female-owned brands that they took through a year-long course in helping us to get ready and grow and then manage our brands beyond that. But they have been sued. And it is the foundation of the lawsuit is saying it's discrimination because they're specifically looking for Black female-owned brands. And
Uh,
right now, they have been forced to stop doing
really?
the work that they
Really?
have done.
Oh,
Yes,
that's ridiculous. Uh,
yes. Well,
I
tell the judge, tell
so
the law,
who
the
sued
group.
them? So who's
Yeah.
suing?
Offhand, I don't even remember the name of the
Oh
group that
my
is
God,
suing them. But
unbelievable.
at this point, they're looking at their options of what they can do to move forward. But the only reason they exist is because Black females are
Of
launching
course,
the number of
absolutely,
businesses, and
100% absolutely.
Black females get less than 1% of all venture capital funding.
And we are in a free market, and everybody is has the freedom to allocate the funding to whoever they want. If they want to give it to gay people, if they want to give it to Black people, if they want to give it to Black women, everybody, we are in a free market, and everybody should be free. That I don't think that we have this problem in UK, and I think gonna be more difficult to to have this issue here, right? Because I don't know, but I don't think that something like that
Right,
can happen here in UK, right? Uh, the end of the day, more solutions need to come, and I think that the nature of business is to specialize, to find your niche, right? And to find the people and decide what type of people you want to work with, what type of people you want to help, right? For example, I like to work and like to help people that they are happy like you, that that they're successful in business, that have good energy. I don't care if they're Black, white, or Chinese, right? I'm happy like that. This is what the people that I bring to my podcast is the people that I'm happy, right? And this is what I do. So oh my God, I never that's unbelievable. Anyway, so um government should be doing more intense, because the other day we were talking about social responsibility. We were talking about global conscious entrepreneur, right? And we have a very interesting talk about, right, about how the consumer is more savvy buying those products and services like yours with natural products, and don't pollute the environment, and be more energy save aware, right? Because like this is we're gonna have better planet for the next generation. And I was talking with them and said, yeah, but this is only one vertical, right? It's no, in order to be a global conscious entrepreneur, not only we need to be looking to have a better world for everybody, to look after the environment, we have to be looking also to have more inclusion in our companies and giving more opportunity to women. This is also something that can make a better planet for everybody, right? And
mhm.
so it's not only, oh, we are globally conscious and we are looking after the environment and we are doing the best for our planet just because you are recycling and saving energies and using natural product. It goes more into the question. It goes how your company can contribute to charity or can contribute to the community that you are based, and empower them. Um, how to empower young people to create their own business, regardless if they are Black, white, or Chinese, or whatever. So, what is your view in this? Because you are a product brand, right? You understand 100% what I'm talking about. That a lot of these companies that they are out there, that they have the the head of departments or the whole C levels, right? They are majority male dominant, white male dominant, right? And then the company goes there and say, "Oh, we're doing the best for the planet, and we're saving a lot of energy, and we're using natural products, so the consumer." So they're using this more as a marketing tool that actually to make a difference. So what message do you have for these companies and for these people?
You know, small businesses are the backbone, the lifeblood of America, and we really need to
Yeah.
make sure that we are supporting them in all aspects because there are so many things that can be done to help small businesses, you know, from funding to grants, to systems to support them, build awareness about the brands. But there is just simply so much that we can do to help keep our small businesses on task. And even when we find that white space, when we say that we look at the population, we look at all the various different groups of the key populations in America, and at least just saying that we should make sure that we can get this many small business or Black female-owned brands into our stores. And so it was that 15% pledge. I don't know if you've heard about this, but it was back during when the pandemic was really going on, that it brought a lot of tension from the George Floyd riots that were happening. So we're saying that if Blacks make up 15% of the US, then should the companies that we have in our stores, in our retailers, so think Sephora, think Target, think Ulta, you know, there were many brands that stepped up and said, well, okay, we should have at least 15% of the brands in our stores be Black female owned. At least if they represent 15% of the
Of
population.
course.
At that time, there were many more companies that stepped up and said they were going to do this. But when you look at them now, you really can't find that they're still doing that commitment. But there are many that still are. And I think that is great and amazing.
Amazing.
They're helping to bring awareness to this disconnect that
Mhm.
we have this type of population, but we're mostly seeing large corporations as far as in our stores. And it's just given us, again, it's just building that awareness because we're doing something amazing. We are companies that are close to our customers because there's not a lot of layers from the
Of course.
beginning to the leader. So we are more able and more flexible to be able to pivot, to be able to communicate with our customers, to be able to offer and give them what they are looking for to make sure that their needs are being met.
You're also
So,
close to the community also, right?
mhm,
And you
yes,
can do a lot of groundwork there. You see, like for example, my brother owns a company, has a company with a partner that they do import and export of furniture, right, for decoration. And some of the products, they the guys that paint these products are people with disability, right? And they pay them and everybody wins, right? So the people with the disability make some money, and my brother get the jobs done because he had to paint the thing anyway. So with the business you can also empower the community and have a positive a bigger positive impact in the community. Exactly what you say, Angela, because the small business is close to the community as well as the product service rather than the big corporation. So I think the power is in the consumer at the end of the day. And if the consumer start to buying those products and support those products and support business owners, at the end of the day the stores and even these big brands don't will have they will have to make a space. Yeah, and this is what all we want, because with the small business owners a lot of good things can happen. Like you say, it's the backbone, only the USA, the UK, from UK, also from all over the world, right? These are the people that drive the communities, the people that create jobs for the people around there, right? And so let's talk about something, because I read in your bio that now you have specialize and give them some products for the people over 50. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
absolutely. You know, there are many ways that women can learn about menopause and the effects it has on their body. And so we're talking about the night sweats, the fog in thinking, not sleeping very well. So there are so many things, and there are so many ways for us to find that information and then incorporate it into our lives. but not so much when it's talking about hair, because menopause has direct effects to our hair. And so primarily it falls under the category of hair loss, hair thinning, the texture may change. And so there are ways that basically there is just educating the customer. You know what? Menopause doesn't just affect what's happening more so in your body, it also affects your hair, but this is what you can do to counter those effects. So it's bringing awareness to it, making sure that they understand why it's happening. It's not just them. It's not that they're just doing something wrong. But it can be affected. And maybe, you know, that as they were going along, they made some changes in their hair care and thought they had resolved the issues, and now something's happening. And so the tie to hormones is what's key. Hormones do many things that are amazing for our body. And then when they start shifting and changing, the downsides of it can start increasing. And so where I come in are products that are specifically made to target that particular population of ladies. And that's like more than 80 million women in the US alone.
Wow.
That are in this category. And so
and it's a category that nobody cares, right? Everybody's looking for the young, beautiful women, right? This is everybody want to sell to the market, and that this market that you're sharing with us, or they have a need, they have a problem, and I'm glad that somebody brave like you embrace them and offer solution for these people, right?
Absolutely. And so that's what we do. So there's our course, Ageless Tresses, Navigating Hair Health Through Menopause and Beyond. There are the products that we have. So when you think about just one aspect that I'll share with you or talk through with you, as your body is going through this phase and your hormones are changing in different ways, your natural hair texture can actually change. So maybe you had a soft wave in your hair and now you're getting more tight curls, or it could be the reverse. That's one way. There could be also hair loss. And for women in that particular population, that thinning, the loss occurs more so through the crown or maybe even at the temples. And then let's add in alopecia, which is hair loss, and there are many different kinds of alopecia. So I was diagnosed with one of the types of alopecia that is scarring. And so I had some severe thinning, and so have gone through treatment, have made some shifts and changes in the types of products that I use and how I use the products. And so I am sharing that information in the course that I am offering to help bring awareness. This is what you can do to counter those effects. I've done this, this, and this. This doesn't work. So I can tell you what doesn't work. I can tell you what does, and then I can tell you what to focus on. So yeah, so again, it's sharing those steps that I've already been through and bringing those that maybe they're on the same path as me, but maybe they're not to where I am, then can bring them forward and share that. And just this morning, I received a text from a new amazing customer who said, I love these products. She sent me pictures of before her hair.
Beautiful.
She used the products the way I told her to use the products. And then she sent these pictures. I love these products. Look at my hair. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That's brilliant. Okay, Angela. So, what are the 5 steps that women should be doing out there, the Black women, if they are already listening this podcast and they want to go for it? They want to develop the product for the community. They want to develop a product that to help themselves and to help others, right? So, what are the 5 steps that they can take in order to make the first million?
Absolutely. Step one, find your passion. You are going to be living, breathing, and eating this. So you need to find your passion. Mine is hair care. Okay, shoes and purses, they take a second, but my primary is hair care. That's my passion. So I could talk about that all day long. And then maybe on the weekends, I'll talk about the shoes and the purses. So you need to find something that you truly love bringing to help people. I'm also an educator at heart. I love sharing knowledge and helping those behind me, hence the beginning of the course, Ageless Tresses. So that's step one, finding your passion. And your passion may not be my passion. It could be something entirely different, but find your passion. The step two, find your people. So I can't sell hair care to you, Harry. Okay.
Mhm.
So,
I might
no.
need some. Leave me full.
Right. And see, and one of my brothers is bald. So I keep telling
Ah.
him, but you grow your hair so you can use my products. But my oldest brother does use my products. But by far, 95% of 97% of my customers are women. So in all seriousness, yes. So you need to find your people. You go to where they are. Are your people on TikTok or Instagram? Are they on YouTube, LinkedIn? Find your people because these are the people making the purchase decisions for what you have. So that's that second one. The third one is find your circle. And by circle, I mean your support system. These are the people that maybe they have entrepreneurial experience. And so they can share things that they went through in their business. And it could be an entirely different business, but there are some core elements that are similar across industries as far as finding that support staff. This could be financial resources as far as grants, loans, lines of credit, those types of things. It could also be the people that test your products. So every time I develop a product, I use it on myself first. Then once it has passed that test, then I have a group of people I share the products with and just send it to them. And the only thing I want is feedback. Use the products and tell me what you thought about the products. And also tell me how you use the products because I told you how to use them, but not everybody does it that way. Some do it their own way. And so there are times where they don't get the ideal results because of how they did things differently. And so once you have that conversation and say, I wanted you to do it this way, and then get the results back at that time. So again, that's all about finding your people, your customers, that you want it to be, your circle, if you will. So the next thing is finding comfort in creating the content that you need. And so this could be doing what I'm doing right now. It could also be events, lives, postings, videos, images, all the different things that you need to be able to create content to share your amazing story. And and nowadays, customers want to know more about you, the brand owner, than what they ever have before. Social media makes that a bit easier. So you need to get comfortable being in front of the camera. When I have worked with other brands, they're like, well, oh, no, I don't want to be on the camera. Well, you need to find somebody to be the face of the brand because it can't be a faceless brand, not as far as a small business is concerned. So
100%.
yes, got to find somebody. So get comfortable being in front of the camera and doing it over and over and over again. And you'll need to share the process, educate on how to use the products, and how, okay, you didn't do it exactly the way I said, and this is the outcome. And so maybe if you flip that or just follow my instructions this next time, let's see how that works out for you. So it's being able to resonate with your customers because you can put content out there, but if it doesn't resonate, then it's almost like not putting the content out there. So you need to have engaging and content that resonates with your customers. And then feeling the fear and doing it anyway, because you're going to be terrified at some point. There are going to be things that you love to do, and you can do that with your eyes closed and your hands tied behind your back. Then there are going to be things that are new to you, and you're kind of like, oh gosh, you've got the butterflies, you're not quite sure, you're finding anything to go do rather than doing what you need to do. But it's feeling that fear and doing it anyway. And you've got to trust the process. You've got to trust the process. And if you do trust the process and follow these steps, it will happen for you. I didn't say when, I didn't say what your schedule will be because the schedule is different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Happen.
Exactly. That's fantastic. And then Angela, the out there we sometimes as entrepreneurs, right? We there are big opportunities, right? We were talking about the market of the women over 50, right? Which in my opinion is a great market, right? Because not because you're over 50, you're not gonna look after yourself, right? So there are women that have problems that need solution, right? But again, why do you think that sometimes this market is left over and not everybody's paying attention to them? They maybe think that why everybody's focusing in the young, pretty, why everybody's fighting for this market, which is a very red ocean full of sharks and all these brands competing to get a piece of this market and spending millions and millions marketing. Where other demographics, right? They also have need and problems, and then you don't see anybody fighting for it, and then coming you with a beautiful product, and you guess what? You can take the whole market because nobody seems interested in that. What is your view on this?
You know, I am 57 years old.
Oh wow,
So,
you don't look wow. You look younger than me. My goodness.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm
You know,
47, so imagine.
oh, wow. Okay. All right. I have seen it from both sides because when I started, so it was almost like 9 years ago when I started, and things were quite different when I launched. And I didn't have this specific focus on this particular niche. But as I started looking at what I was offering and what the competition looked like as far as that particular space, and so many individuals are really into their having their own unique fragrance in their products. And it's like, well, I'm for the population that is allergic to fragrance, or you are in close proximity to someone that is allergic. But, you know, as you're going through menopause, some people can no longer deal with fragrance. As their hormones continue changing, they may have been all in with fragrances, and now they, you know, in perimenopause or
Cannot take it anymore, yeah.
can't take fragrances anymore. And that's a part of becoming more sensitive, because as our skin and our scalp gets drier, which is something that happens during menopause, we produce less sebum, you know, we produce less sodium lactate in our skin, on our scalp. And so there is less to go around. So your scalp becomes more sensitive. So a lot of the harsher type things that you used to do, you just can't do anymore. And so it became a natural to shift the focus to actually specifically market to those types of customers. It makes a lot of sense. You know, there are still in the US, 96 to 98%, that number still holds true, of brands are still fragranced. But when I think about the male customers that I have picked up on, they're the ones
Wow.
that say they used to be able to go to the beauty supply store 2 lifetimes ago and buy something that had no scent in it and that worked fairly well. But the ingredients have been cheapened, fragrances have been added, and it just gunks up in their comb and on their hair. And so they all say the exact same thing, which is just, I mean, ironic to me that they all say the exact same thing. And then that's how they have come to my brand, even though that's not a population that I thought I could
Wow.
serve. Wasn't
Yeah.
even thinking about it, but is definitely how that has come. And so it's learning about the market, is seeing how the trends have changed, and seeing where you think you can make a bigger difference.
And
Hence,
listen to your
so the
customers.
course. The
Yeah.
course came about because more women will tell me, well, they always talk about the hot flashes and you can't sleep and you have the brain fog and you can't think. But no one said anything about my hair changing. No one said anything about the texture changing, the dryness changing. What do you mean my scalp is going to be more prone to sensitivity because I have less sebum now that I'm at the age that I am? And, you know, something else, your body produces sodium lactate. Again, that is an ingredient in our products because we know we have less of it as we age, and it gets it back into the system. So yes, it was this white space. It was looking at the overall market and where I thought that I could make a bigger difference. And so, and it was a pivot to just focus on this particular population, whereas before it was more mass marketing, if you will, trying to market to multiple different markets, and that's generally not successful. You need to find your people, your niche, and focus on your niche. And sure, you're going to have customers outside that niche that have interest in your products because of their own, issues that they may be experiencing. But still, you need to focus on your niche, and then everything else will follow. And that has definitely been something that I have learned. You can't market to everyone. Find your people and focus on those people.
Yeah. And then, Angela, because one thing is develop the product from your kitchen, right?
Mhm.
Completely different ball game as a small business owner is to build the brand. So tell us what was your biggest help in terms of building a brand as a minority women entrepreneur, right? Because it takes a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of energy to build a brand, right? And how you navigate this who do you learn from, what do you, who help you, and
Mm,
what resources do you have that you can share with the people listening to us?
absolutely. So when I started, I was doing everything myself, from acquisition of the ingredients and the containers and the labels to
Wow,
manufacturing to
it's a big
filling.
job, yeah.
Yes, and then to mailing out the orders. And different brand owners have different levels of comfort, so they do things differently. What I wanted to do, so I found a team of individuals, my manufacturing team. So
Mhm.
they handle getting all of the ingredients and the containers and the lids and labels, manufacturing and filling the containers. So I stepped out of that space. Then I also found a team to do my fulfillment for me. So they warehouse my products. They're online with my store, and orders are sent, immediately to them for fulfillment. And so they are taking care of handling the fulfillment and
Fulfillment.
warehousing of my products. So having those two key teams was a huge help for me. And as far as the website, as far as social media, as far as those types of things, leading the course, those are all the things that I do. Now, and those are the things that I enjoy doing. In the beginning, manufacturing for just myself, it was like, oh, okay, I'm going to try this, and this. But once you know what you're going to do, and you just needed to multiply how many different uh, bottles and
Responsibility,
products.
yeah.
Yes, yes. Then it may go from there. But yeah, so
And then
that's
the
how.
volumes go bigger, so you cannot do it in your kitchen anymore.
That's right. And I had a strong information technology background, computers, testing, software, using, helping others, writing documentation on how to use it. So designing my own website and doing the updates to my website, all of that felt very natural to me, and and right there in my sphere of influence. And so that's what has worked for me. Now, there may be other brands where no, I want to do my manufacturing, but I don't want to maintain my website nor even do my fulfillment. And so you find that right mix of what feels good, what feels right for you.
Why your strength? Yeah, at the end of the day, we have to identify as an entrepreneur what are the strength
Mhm.
and focus in the strength that we love, and then the other thing that we can that are our weakness. We this is the part that we bring teams to help us out to do this part better than us. This is how it works. I congratulate you for your success. I'm very happy that I had this conversation. I think that you have shared and inspired at least all of black women and all women in general that they are listening to us all over the world. I think that women are very good in business, yes. And I realized this very early when I had my first company. All my employees were women, right? And I decided to use this model because they were very assertive, right? You see, let's face it, when women doesn't want to go out with you, they tell you, I don't want to go out with you. And you say, why? You say, because you're ugly. Women will tell you straight away. Yeah, women will tell you straight away what's the problem. You know what I mean? This for business is amazing. And well, boys, we just go around a lot. Well, let's see. Between us boys, it's more relaxed thing. Women, no. Women, when they see a problem, they have to tell you how it is.
Mhm.
And that's why we met John Gray, the author of Women Are for Mars and Men's Are for no Women Are for Venus and Men's Are for Mars, right?
Yes.
It's a fundamental way why we are different, right? Men and women. And but I mean, for an startup that was running back there, it was amazing. I was having constant feedback, and every time that something was not working, I got immediate feedback. I always say, oh, when the girls are complaining, when they were hurry, 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 and then again hurry, hurry, hurry. When I hear the thing 2 3 times, I said I had to look at it, because if they are talking about this, there is something that needs to be fixed. There is something, right? When the guests were quiet, that means that everything was running perfectly. But when the guests have a concern and they're talking to me and whatever, I better fix it quick because it was an issue there, right? So yeah, and it's no, I'm not discriminating everyone, anybody, right? Everybody owns their own company. Everybody free to employ wherever they want, but don't underestimate women. They are very good in a lot of areas that means we are very weak, right? So embrace that, and as an entrepreneur, they're brilliant. We help a lot of women, same as men. Actually, I coach in public speaking. um, and more than 50% of our students are women, right? We're
Mhm.
always saying we need more women on the stage, so we in our program we make sure that we bring more women than men, so to you know to try to find balance in the speaking arena, where every time that you go to a conference, all the speakers are men, and if you find a couple of women, you're lucky, right?
Mhm.
So women are very good speakers and they have great stories. So I train over hundreds of them, and I reach over over 500,000. So I can tell you that they're amazing, right? So
Mhm.
what is the last message, Angela, for women in general, that they're out there, that are corporate, yeah, they are cash rich, time poor, they don't have time to see the kids, they are in this comfortable job without knowing that tomorrow somebody can tell them, you know what, you don't need it anymore, and this is the only thing that they can do is this job. And when you reach certain age, we know that it's gonna become a problem, right, for them to find another job, and that could be a really a difficult situation to be after you have your house, your mortgage, your kids, your garden, your 3 cars, yeah, and you are
Mhm.
40, 45 years old. Then they tell you from your corporate job, we don't need you anymore, and now you have all these things, and you don't know how to do anything else, just this particular job that now the market doesn't have need for it. So what advice do you have to these women in corporate, yeah, that what advice do you have to these people, because you were in corporate, so you know how it is. Tell us.
I was in corporate for 26 years,
There you
and
go, so you know how it is, right?
I do. And many of the skills that I learned in corporate serve me very well
Of
in
course,
what I am doing
absolutely.
now. So, never let someone make you think or believe that all you can do is what
Exactly.
you're doing. Never let someone make you believe that, because we all have multiple skill sets. We may not know what they are, or we may not be recognizing it, but we all do. So find your passion. If you're going to take that leap into entrepreneurship, you're going to be living, eating, and breathing it. So it cannot be something you're doing because somebody else over here said, oh, I think, this is going to be a really good market to tap into. You
Mhm.
need to be doing it because it is your passion. So
And then at the end of the day, corporate, they're gonna make you really, really comfortable when they need you.
that's right.
When they need you, you're gonna have the best life ever. They're going to make sure that you're so comfortable that you're not even thinking to become an entrepreneur, right? They're gonna pay you a lot
Absolutely.
of money so you can have everything. You're gonna have holiday. Yeah, well, you're not gonna have so much time because you have this job and things like this, but you're gonna have everything. But if one day this is taken off from you and you don't have a plan B, it's going to be tough. Yeah, and I'm glad, Angela, that you only in 4 weeks managed to repackage yourself and be back on track. Yeah, and look at you now. Yeah, I don't think that you want your corporate job anymore. Yeah.
No.
Probably you have people from this corporate working for you. You know what I mean? So,
Right,
so
when one door closes, another one is opening, or it has already opened, and maybe you missed it along the way. You kept trying to get back into this closed door. So yes.
yeah. Okay. Hey, Angela, some resources. So if somebody's inspired about this conversation that we have, how they can find you, how can you help them? Or they want to try your product, how they find this? Tell us.
Absolutely. So the website is CurlyCoilyTresses.com. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, all as CurlyCoilyTresses.com. Even if you don't remember the name, just Google Haircare and Angela Fields. You're going to find me. You're going to get hits on all the different avenues, but the website is CurlyCoilyTresses.com. And Harry, I will share my contact sheet with you, which
Really?
has links to all of the social media, my website, the course, the hair quiz that we offer as well, if you're just not quite sure what's going on with your hair. So that's more of a self-service option to figure out what you need to do differently for your hair. And then the course is if you want that interaction. If you want to get more details, that sort of thing that you can take. And the course is free at this time. It's free
Fantastic.
at this time, and it's been re-envisioned as I've received feedback from people who have already taken it. So it has definitely evolved to make sure it's giving women what they need to have. But again, Angela Fields, CurlyCoilyTresses.com is how to reach me. And again, you'll have the contact.
That's fantastic. That's brilliant. And on that note, yeah, we will put that in the description of our social media, right? And in the podcast. And on that note, we're going to end up this episode about Unstoppable Podcast and see you in our next chapter, how brave entrepreneurs break that wall and achieve the first million in sales. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.